What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video of What's in the Working, and I'm finally in New Hampshire with Pink here. We finally made it. It was a complete and utter ridiculous journey. We started in Florida. It took a little extra time for the closing to happen, where we were literally sitting in front of the house in the van with the trailer waiting for the house to close and for us to head north. It was ridiculous. What's up, everybody? So we are in process of starting to move. We're actually waiting for the funds to go through from, I guess, the buyer is what we're waiting for his money to go through. So I'm literally sitting here in the van, engine running, trailer on the back, ready to go, waiting on the funds to go through. As soon as we get that message, we are headed north. So I'll get back to you as soon as I find out some more. Super tired, by the way. Haven't really slept yet in over 24 hours, trying to get everything ready and trying to get everything closed out. So it's been pretty hell-like. All right, I'll get back to you guys. Ridiculous. Finally, it ended up being so late that evening. What would that have been? Tuesday evening, I think. Wednesday evening?
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. Yes. We actually ended up going to Fort Lauderdale, and my ex-wife actually had gotten a hotel on the beach, and we ended up staying there for the night. You know, that was very nice of her. It's kind of like a going away present, so to speak. And so the ex-wife got us a hotel on the beach for the night, because for like a going away present, and it's right back there. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so this is where we're gonna stay, spend the night, get some sleep, and then work our way up north starting first thing in the morning. So thought I'd show you guys what I'm traveling in here. The beat up black van with the black trailer. Used to be Witch's Mark. I don't know if you can see right there where it's got the old, I had to tear that off, the emblem. There's the band insignia. Mark.com still there. Used to say WW Witch's Mark. Yeah, so this is where we're going in. Got the trailer completely packed in, loaded up, filled up. Again, we got the van right here, also completely loaded down, filled up. But yeah, we're super excited. Can't wait to hit the road tomorrow morning and start heading north. I'm thinking we might go as far as like Georgia or something like that, maybe a little further, maybe even like into South Carolina or something, and then we're just gonna travel during the day. I'm doing that this time. I'm not traveling all night long and everything, so try to get as far as we can get before the sun starts to go down. Crash tonight, take it slow. We're just gonna have a good time getting up there. We're just gonna take it slow and just, you know, have a good time, just go. You know, I mean, we've got nothing pressing us to get there as quickly as possible, so except for the excitement of just getting there. But you know, so we're just gonna take it slow and check it out, see how it works, and bring all of you guys along with us. So should be cool. All right, from that point we left, went by my sister's house in Sebastian, dropped off a few things to her, some photography things, some photographs and whatnot that I had, that my sister kind of likes to do the family tree thing and all that stuff. So we I had a bunch of old photo albums and everything I found that I, you know, was like, hey, you know, she can do a lot more with them than I can. So I dropped them off, got stuck in her front yard.
Ripped up her lawn.
Yeah, I dug a nice ditch across her lawn. Gave my own sister a lawn job, basically, getting out of there. And we started on our way, and we traveled through. I think that one of the things I realized when I woke up this morning that I'm missing the most right now is the fact that I forgot to say goodbye to my cypress tree in the backyard that I planted over 20 years ago, and it's always been like a thing for me. I had an altar underneath it and everything, and I was in such a rush to get out, and with all the bullshit that was happening with me barely closing on this house, it was kind of like a rush to get out of there, and I forgot to say goodbye. Kind of woke up this morning super sad about that, but it is what it is. Got the memories. All right. Hi, Holly. Are you ready to go to New England, baby? Huh? Yeah? All right. Pink has Holly. Hi, Pink. Good morning.
Morning.
We're on our way. This is the bridge that separates South Florida from Central Florida. Alright guys, we should be crossing into Georgia any minute now. It's exciting. It's exciting, right?
It's exciting. I just saw a sign for Dunkin' Donuts. So that means we're close to New England.
Dunkin' Donuts. We're closer to Dunkin' Donuts. Or, sorry, closer to New England because of Dunkin' Donuts. Agricultural inspection. What the hell is that? I don't know. But there's a lot of trucks there. And I'm glad we don't have any agriculture on our
Don't they have
selves.
like check for oranges and stuff, like when people bring oranges?
Yes.
How dare you smuggle these illegal oranges into Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're peaches. We don't want your oranges.
Yeah. Let's see. Man, there's a lot of... God, that must suck to have to wait that long.
Yeah.
That was... Okay.
Oh,
This is the Florida. Thank you for visiting Florida. Get the hell out.
That's just the palm trees right there, though.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
That'll be the last time I see palm trees for a while.
Yeah.
And then there's the Georgia swamp on the other side.
What a lovely view.
Yes. It's like, hello, here go the palm trees as they dwindle down and we enter into the Georgia swamps.
Oh man. Really cool though. I really love the palm trees.
Going over the bridge. So I guess that, oh, here it is.
There's a big Georgia.
So if that was exiting Florida and this is entering Georgia, is it like in between like no man's land? So like,
Yeah, that's...
so there's the Georgia, so we're entering Georgia now. Nice, okay.
I wonder if that's like land you can claim.
Yeah, if I live there, do I not have to like pay any taxes or anything? And like, all right, we're in Georgia. So 4.5 hours, 5 hours after my first like recording with you guys, we finally got to Georgia. Holy crap. All right, I'll get back with y'all. Okay guys, so we just entered South Carolina. It snuck up on us, like we didn't even see it. We thought we were still way back in the middle of Georgia. There was no signs or anything like saying like, hey, you're about to enter South Carolina. So we just passed the sign. It was like entering South Carolina. So it's like the big mystery state, whatever. It's already so freaking different here. I mean, look at like the trees and stuff and like these like weird vines and everything, and like you just don't see stuff like this like in Florida. It's kind of cool. It's got like this like little rivers next to us and stuff.
I feel like we got our trees back.
What's
That's
that?
awesome. I feel like I got my trees back, you know what I mean? Because there was like no trees and now there is trees.
Yeah, and here comes some rain along with it. Yeah, and like I knew I was back in a different part of the world when we just passed a bridge. South Carolina Welcome Center. See, when we passed a bridge, it said bridge ices before, or ice forms before the bridge, whatever. I'm like, oh boy, okay, yep, we're definitely in a different part of town.
But we're in August too, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
What a trip, man. All right, so yeah, we just entered South Carolina, still working our way. So we actually reserved a hotel just on the other side of South Carolina in North Carolina. And according to Waze, I guess we should be getting there at about 8:30 tonight, in which case we're gonna put the cats up, go get something to eat, go by Walmart, and call it a night. Wake up in the morning and do it all over again. All right, cool. See you guys in a bit. Oh, just got into North Carolina. We just crossed the line, past that place south of the border. It's in South Carolina and North Carolina. Anyhow, getting this done. Got north. I think we're going to spend the night here in North Carolina. The hotel's still about 75 miles away, but regardless. Alright everybody, so we are in North Carolina this morning. Spent the night here and we're on our way to, the goal is to get to Stamford, Connecticut today. So hopefully, we'll make it. We'll get there, spend the night again, and then roll into New Hampshire tomorrow. I went and got my Starbucks because I'm a Starbucks guy. We got Pink a Dunks because she's a Dunks girl, so we went over here to this Starbucks or this Dunks to get that. And I think we're gonna hit the road again from this calamity here in North Carolina. It's a pretty busy morning, and we'll get going. Ultimately got to North Carolina, as far as North Carolina, before we stopped and spent the night. And once we stopped and spent the night in North Carolina, did everything there, woke up the next morning. We kind of winged the whole thing, like we kind of like were like not sure where we were going to stop as we were going up, because we just kind of were like figuring it out as we went along, like when I started getting tired and stuff like that, because the drive was just ridiculous. And especially with the trailer on the back, and I got that van, and like I was all over the road constantly. It was ridiculous. Every time a car passed me or something happened, the whole car, the van and trailer, everything would just woof, woof, and it was like scary as hell. But we ultimately sufficed, pulled through. I was able to do about 70 miles an hour all the way up, and we ended up stopping in Connecticut again overnight, which was really interesting because we didn't know. So we get to the hotel, the thing is that the catch is every hotel we stopped at had to be animal friendly because we had the 2 cats. We had Holly, who you all have met in one of my previous videos, and we had Seven, which is Pink's cat. So we Seven, say hello to everybody. Seven, there's my girl. I know you love it.
Hey, Seven.
Last time when we were coming down from New England to Florida, Seven sat at Pink's feet the entire time, basically sleeping the entire time. I think she likes the vibration. We had to have cat-friendly hotels, so we found one in Connecticut, and which was awesome. It was the Sanford, I think it was called, and Stanford. Okay, the Stanford. Sorry, and we pulled up.
That hotel.
Well, we pulled up, and it was a super nice hotel. It was like one of those ones you see like in the movies, like where they've got like the.
It was pretty, but it wasn't nice.
Yeah, it was super nice, but
Nice.
But the people weren't nice. Pink wasn't happy with the people. But we get in and the lady tells us, I'm like, so you don't even park in a parking lot there. You park in a parking garage. So the first thing I noticed in the parking garage is the maximum height you could be is 6'9". Well, with my trailer, I was already at like 7'5". I was way over. So I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, so I go inside and I ask the lady at the desk, I'm like, so, where can I park? We've already made reservations and everything and already paid. Where can we park? She basically points outside and goes, just not on our property. Whatever, you can go over in the city property or go out on the street, whatever you're going to do. We have nowhere for you to park here, so whatever. I'm like, oh, great. That's nice of you. So I'm like, so I just pretty much come to the conclusion that we were going to have to go to a different hotel. And then I noticed this, like, it was the weirdest thing. It was like this house, this big house next to the hotel. And they had like a lot next to the house. I'm like, I could park there, but I'm going to go ask the people if I can park there, And so I go up to this house and there's a couple of tables out on like a porch and it says private club. And I'm like, what the heck? And I just seen a couple of people walk out of there and they were pretty shady looking. And, but I'm like, what the heck? And I'm thinking it's like a biker club or something, the way it looked. And by the time we walked in there, and there were some bikers there, whatever. But by the time we walked in there, and I just knocked on the door, and nobody answered. So I'm like, whatever. I'm like, the worst that's gonna happen is some big burly dude's gonna answer the door and be like, well, you know, fuck off or something. But so I was ultimately like, whatever. I'm desperate right now. So nobody answered. So I started to go back to the car, to the van. And then all of a sudden I saw two people walk out, and I ran over and I'm like, yo, hey. And I explained my situation. And these guys were like my kind of people. You know, like they totally were just like, you know, the on the edge biker type people.
And happy to help.
Right. So I'm like, hey, you know, can we park over there? And they said, oh, come on inside. And I go, yeah, you know, it says like private club and everything. And they're like, no, it's no big deal. Come on in. I'm gonna meet, you know, introduce you to the owner and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we walk inside, and you walk into a door, and you make a right, and there's a whole bar. So ends up, it was an Eagles club. And, you know, and that's kind of like what they explained to me is sort of like a moose lodge or something like that. It's just like a club basically for people, and they help people and everything. So perfectly enough, the guy says to me, the owner says to me, hey, yeah, you can park over there all you want, with the catch that the only thing is you got to come back with your girl there and have a drink with us. And I was like, fine, rock it, let's do it. So boom, so parked, finally got the park, went up there, had, you know, spent the night at that hotel. Next morning, what's up everybody? So here we are in the Connecticut room, which I had to make a deal with some bikers next door to park my van because it wouldn't fit in their the hotel's garage. So they told me as long as I come have a drink with them that I could totally park my van and trailer over in their parking lot. So cool. That being said, this is the room. It's pretty cool. It's actually a really nice place. I didn't expect it was I didn't expect it was gonna be this nice, but apparently this is like a really cool hotel, and I got it for a really good price because I had points built up on my hotels.com deal. So anyway, there's the kitties. Hi kitty. Holly. And Seven's hiding. She's like, I'm not going on the camera. Here, come here. Next morning, got up, started driving again to get through Connecticut. And by the way, before that, getting through Baltimore and Maryland was a whole journey onto itself. That was a total trip also. I don't like those places. I don't like, you know, I'm sorry if there's somebody from Baltimore, but I don't like it. I don't like Baltimore. Just like I don't like Miami either, you know, but you know, it is what it is. It's just my opinion. But from Miami. I know. I don't like Miami either. So Baltimore was another very shady place. Did not like it at all. Started driving through Connecticut. Got through Connecticut. Got through Delaware, I think. I don't even know.
They got through Delaware, got through New York.
Well, New York was the problem.
New York,
New
and
Jersey.
Then you were in Connecticut. We stayed the night in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got through Connecticut.
I don't know.
Went through Massachusetts, and here we are in New Hampshire.
Yes, because New York, exactly. She's got it. I'm like totally.
He's going back,
but like
Delaware.
New York was another one that was like, oh my God, what a trip, unbelievable. Did not like it at all. Got lost. Ended up going through the Bronx. And, you know, just trying to stay on a highway for God's sakes. Nah, man, I was like all over the place. My Waze thing was taking me all. My Waze was taking me all over the place. But to speak good of Waze, it actually was correct. It took me everything it told me was the truth. But it totally was just a journey and a half. It freaked me out because I'm like, I was expecting to be on the highway the whole time, and all of a sudden I'm driving down the streets of the Bronx. Yeah. You know, like, and anyway.
You don't want to drive in the Bronx, but I love the Bronx, especially during Christmas time. No, I mean, they have like all like the shops open. Yeah. Like the Jewish people have their shops open. They're very nice during Christmas. And yeah, the Bronx is good. Well, I like the Bronx. Just have to drive through New York.
And I decided that if we ever go to New York again, it's going to be, you know, we're going to fly to New York and then get a cab. I'm not driving. As far as I'm concerned, unless something happens that I absolutely have to, I'm never driving in New York again. Like with my own personal vehicle. Forget that crap. Yeah, no. But Anyhow, everybody, if you can see off in the distance there is New York City. Let me zoom in. I guess I can't zoom in, but there's coming in, going into a Lincoln Tunnel or something. I'm not sure where, but there's this New York City way off in the distance over there. Anyhow, so then like she was saying, the next day we finally left Connecticut, got through Massachusetts, got into New Hampshire, finally rolled into New Hampshire about 1 o'clock. And what's up, everybody? So this is the final state here. So we ended up slamming through New York and Connecticut and all that stuff, and got through there, but I didn't get it filmed because New York is nuts, man. Like, New York is insane. I didn't even have time to like be able to pick up my phone here and film because it was just crazy. But we should be getting into New Hampshire. Hell, we might have already.
Minutes. No, we would have saw a sign for it.
All right, so we should be getting into New Hampshire though. We just slammed through Massachusetts, which was fun. And now we're making a turn here, and we're going to be getting into New Hampshire quite shortly. Yeah, so check this out, like all these trees and these hills, and like when we pass one of these things again, it's like mountain rock, like rock sticking out of the side of the freaking hill. I guess it's granite, right?
Yeah, it's granite.
Like, you don't get shit like that in Florida. That's crazy looking. Oh man, yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but they got a dump mill. Who has that?
Where's Derry? We just entered Derry.
Derry is in New Hampshire.
It is, so we are in New Hampshire then.
We're in New Hampshire.
Okay, so then we are in New Hampshire. Okay. I must have missed the sign. I don't know. You can see it's kind of overcast today, but that's okay. I like overcast. So yeah, so welcome to New Hampshire, everybody. Finally made it here. So it's probably only a short trip to get to our first place we're staying at before we move to our apartment in October. So I will see you guys in a bit. Oh man, look at this, like with the trees down there. It's like the mountains here are crazy. Got to 1 o'clock p.m. Yeah, and we got to where we're staying now, which is a temporary stay for like a month at one of Pink's friends' houses, where she rents a house, and it's a completely redone, completely renovated, gorgeous house. You can see in the background behind me there's some French doors, and behind that's a bunch of woods, which is really cool. And I had this app that I've been running around. I just found it. It's called Picture This. And it's a plant identification app, and it's the most accurate one. I've had a couple of them over the last couple of years. This is the most accurate one I've ever owned. Yeah. And it's so cool because like you just aim it at whatever, and I've got like oak trees and maple trees and birch trees and elm trees. And basically the 7 magical woods, I've just about gotten every single one of them right here on this property.
Yeah, we haven't actually left this property because of this app.
Yeah.
We don't go anywhere.
And he's
sitting there with his little phone.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of wild herbs that they just don't have in Florida too that I'm finding here. Like right on this property, there's cinquefoil, there's dandelion, there's oh man, I'm just not coming to mind now, but there's like 5 or 6 of them that I found that are these herbs, goldenrod.
I know I get my pokeberry actually in this yard. I always get my pokeberry from here, which is more like towards fall.
That's that poison berry, right?
Yeah, well, you can make really cool inks out of it. So.
And there's a holly tree out here, a holly bush, and I saw a mulberry bush. This is everything. It's just like everything. It just blows me away. Like and I saw
about the chupacabra.
The chupacabra.
Yeah.
That's your story.
Chupacabras around here.
There's no okay. She
keeps
thinks
going
there's
out at night, and I'm like, you're gonna get eaten by the chupacabra.
She thinks there's a chupacabra because her friend told her one time that there was a chupacabra in the neighborhood, and because of that, I guess she thinks that it's gonna eat everybody and whatever. But it's gorgeous at night. Like there's like the crickets come out and everything, and all the like I don't know what they are, but it makes all the noises of the night, and it's just gorgeous. And the weather's awesome at night. So I don't know, and it's very mountainous here. Driving up and down a lot, very different from Florida where everything's just flat and just straight, and there's no, I mean here everything curves, winds, winding roads up and down, all over the place. Gorgeous houses everywhere, what I consider gorgeous houses. They're just like these old looking houses that look like haunted houses, like from out of a movie and stuff. They're amazing, where they got like the circle sections in the house that go up like towers, and it's just amazing. I mean, and it's just a lot of cool things. She took me to a couple of lakes and showed me around a little bit, and we went to a couple of stores. The people are super nice up here. It's just been a great experience thus far. So, you know, I'm sure it'll probably all wear off eventually, you know, the newness and everything, but I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
It is really cool up here. I'll say that, yeah. It's not going to wear off.
That's good, so I hope not. But that was our journey, and today I wanted to actually talk about perfect love and perfect trust. This was a discussion that I had right before I left with a coven and with a couple of people. And there's a saying in Wicca that's called perfect love and perfect trust. And you know what? Let's get into it. Let me go ahead and start the video at this point, and start the class at this point. What's up, everybody? Blessed be. My name is Manon, and you're watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. Please visit me on my other platforms as well, including Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon, all linked down in the description below. The full script to this video and most of the others is available on my Patreon account for download if desired. Also, please visit my Shopify store, also listed in the description below, to get your Witch in the Working shirts, mugs, bags, beanies, or what have you. Wicca is one of the more popular pagan-based religions today, if not the most popular. Why is this? I believe it's because back in the 50s, when quite a few Religio-Magicks were making their debut, I think that Wicca basically screamed the loudest, and we all know the squeaky wheel gets the grease. This being said, there are a few famous terms that tend to follow Wicca that were introduced back in the beginning, and unfortunately, though they were expressed for one reason, they ended up being portrayed in another light, and therefore misunderstood as a, quote, white lighter's portrayal of this very balanced religion, that again is everything but a white lighter religio-magic. These two terms are an at harm none, do as you will, and perfect love and perfect trust. I've said it before that an at harm none is very misconstrued in its true meaning and deserves a video all to its own, and should be an at harm none but take no shit as far as I'm concerned. This video is going to be about the latter term, however, perfect love and perfect trust. What does it really mean and why? So let's get into it and roll the intro. Okay, let's begin with giving the definition of perfect. Perfect, having all of the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics, ideal without fault, flawless. Now the definition of love, an intense feeling of deep affection. The definition of trust, firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. With the above definitions being laid out, especially that of perfect, which I see it as it says, flawless, without fault, I will continue on with why I feel like in Gardnerian witchcraft, when we mention perfect love and perfect trust, it can only be for the gods, and in some cases yourself, but even the latter is somewhat intense to accomplish. Now, to begin, this is a touchy subject because most witches truly believe that they have perfect love and perfect trust for others because they've had it rammed down their throats for the last however many years. However, let's really unpack and dissect this terminology. Like, how do you feel about like what that means, like perfect love and perfect trust? Have you ever used that in your witchcraft studies and everything? Like, have you ever heard of that?
I've never really followed that, only because I figured perfect love and perfect trust was something that, you know, I don't want to say the Kool-Aid drinkers would go by, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like you gotta trust blindly, you gotta love blindly, and I've never been able to do that, so it's not something that really resonated with me. But knowing what it really is, I can understand it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now listen, I get it. We've used this phrase perfect love and perfect trust throughout our craft training for the very first day you step foot into a circle area, both outer court and inner court, and this term is seen time and time again throughout our BOS and everybody else's BOS and books and everything out there, and everything else we read and hear about in the craft, as well as GBG himself mentioning this term quite a bit. I respect that we use it, and I still use it from time to time, but I make damn sure my students know the difference between perfect love and perfect trust and simply love and trust. Mainly I teach them this, because this is what I was taught by my high priestess and high priest, Castor and Lady Diana, that perfect love and perfect trust are for the god and goddess, not each other. Simply put, I believe that perfect love and perfect trust is a term that is very powerful, and we as witches are misled on what it really means. So as I've stated before, having perfect love and perfect trust for someone is having a flawless perception of this person and holding them in absolute perfection. This means that no matter what this person does, no matter how vile or despicable, you are saying you hold a flawless perception of them. So now I'm going to get into seeing things from understanding the definition of perfect love and perfect trust. Scenario number 1. Jill circled with Susie for the last year and a half and has built a major rapport with her and loves and trusts her so much that they've become best friends, and she can't imagine Susie and herself ever having an issue. One day, Jill finds out that at a local Beltane gathering, Susie's began secretly seeing and having an affair with her husband, Jack. She actually catches them making out in the woods. From there, Susie's forced to come clean and explain that she has been having an affair with Jill's husband for the last year, ever since they met at a previous Beltane. Now, in the world of perfect love and perfect trust, this is okay with Jill, and in her heart, she truly feels that because her love and trust for Susie is without flaw, this scenario simply is what it is. And the world is as perfect as it was yesterday before she learned of this affair. In fact, she has no choice but to feel this way, because anything other than feeling this way is not perfect. So in essence, Susie and Jack now go on living happily ever after, as Jill, ultimately with no ill feelings whatsoever, divorces Jack and wholeheartedly supports Jack and Susie, even being Susie's maid of honor at their wedding. Because Jill has perfect love and perfect trust for Susie, and per the definition of perfect, this means that Jill's love and trust for Susie is unconditional and without flaw. So you can see how ridiculous, like seriously, like to be perfect, understanding what here's my point. Perfect love and perfect trust is not possible between human beings for the most part, as far as I'm concerned. Because of what I just explained. It's without flaw. It is unconditional. I understand there's situations where there's like an unconditional love for a parent to a child and stuff like that. But from people to people, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't.
I don't know. I'd really like to see that scenario on Jerry Springer. You know, that'd be a crazy twist of fate, you know?
You know, the thing is...
Perfect love and perfect trust, Jerry.
Well, the thing is well, I'll actually explain it. That scenario I just explained really happened. Only the part where Jill supports... becomes a maid of honor and all that, that didn't happen. But the whole cheating thing between best friends absolutely did happen, and she found out and they get a divorce and everything else. But of course, the whole friendship thing, of course, any love and trust at that point was gone. You know?
I bet.
But now to give a second scenario. Jack and Jill have been coven brother and sister for the past 2 years. Again, they have perfect love and perfect trust for each other, or so they believe anyway. They share their lives together all the time, and Jack comes over Jill's house all the time while she's at work and babysits Jill's children for a few hours on Wednesdays and Sundays until Jill gets home, so she knows that her kids are safe. Come to find out, one day Jill's 10-year-old daughter tells Jill that Jack has been stealing things from the house. Well, being that Jill has flawless perfect love and perfect trust for Jack, she kindly asks him to please stop stealing things from the house and let's move on with life. But Jack says, "What? Jill, don't you trust me with perfection as you've been stating the whole time? Don't you trust me that what I've been doing and just babysitting and not taking anything or doing any of this stuff, even though the stuff is missing and it's, in my car, is just fine and dandy? No, Jill, I will not stop this because it's okay for me to be doing this because I say it is, and you have perfect love and perfect trust for me, and that makes me and your trust in me without flaw." So you see how crazy it is. Like, even something that is like right in front of your face. If you have perfect love and perfect trust for someone, you have to accept the fact that if they do something shitty, it's okay because it's unconditional.
It's just not reality.
Yeah. So now I'm going to discuss seeing things from the understanding of love and trust without the perfect involved. So just love and trust. Both of the scenarios above are extreme realities. In fact, scenario number 1, like I was saying, actually happened with one of the first covens I ran back in 2005, except for the part about Jill, again, being okay with everything. What is not a reality is that the victims of these scenarios had perfect love and perfect trust for the perpetrator and forgave them, and moving forward in life continued on, and they continued on with perfect love and perfect trust for that person. What makes more sense is that with both scenarios, the victim had honest to goodness love and trust for the perpetrator. Note, I left perfect, meaning flawless, out of the equation, and when the proverbial shit hit the fan, the victim no longer loves or trusts the person, which is okay. This makes sense because, again, perfect is not involved, which would mean the victim had no choice but to continue perfectly loving and trusting the perpetrator unconditionally, regardless of what this person does. Now, does this mean that the victim and perpetrator will never patch things up eventually? No. But for the moment, and maybe forever, the trust and love are gone. We all get mad at each other and go through situations where we may not trust a fellow covener as far as we can throw them. But this is natural and it's okay. In fact, if you tell me there's never issues in your coven, I will silently and most definitely call bullshit, as no group of people get along perfectly all the time. Because again, this would mean you and your coven get along flawlessly all the time and agree with what each other says all the time, which ultimately makes a coven of hypocrites and non-thinking sheep as far as I'm concerned. So it has been brought to my attention from a fellow sister, no matter what happens between, well, she told me, no matter what happens between a covener and myself, I still have enough perfect love and perfect trust in that person to get over it and work through our issues. I totally 100% respect this, and I understand. I feel the same way, and I've tried to stay mad at anyone for a given length of time, especially the coven brothers and sisters I love so much. However, guarantee that if I had a coven brother have an affair with my wife or girlfriend or whoever, or steal from me, I definitely would not be friends or trust that person ever again. This is love and trust for a person, not perfect love and perfect trust. What's the difference? Love and trust are with exceptions, and perfect love and perfect trust are unconditional and have no exceptions. I'm sorry, and some of you may disagree, which means you don't perfectly trust me, by the way, in my statements.
Wow.
But I just don't believe the majority of us, by no mean at all, as human beings, can attain my definition of perfect love and perfect trust. So getting back to that statement that this coven sister mentioned, quote, no matter what happens between a coven member and myself, I still have enough perfect love and perfect trust in that person to get over it and work through our issues, end quote. In this case, the disagreement would never occur because perfect trust doesn't allow the exception for the disagreement to occur. You perfectly trust in whatever the person is saying and have no flaws with it. Perfect love and perfect trust for the gods. Now, this is something that makes a lot of sense to me. This is attainable by millions around the world every day. There are millions of people that put their all-encompassing, unconditional, flawless, perfect love and perfect trust in their gods and goddesses every minute, hour, day, week, month, and year for a lifetime, and even after. How do you feel about that? Like,
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Okay. So I can honestly say I have perfect love and perfect trust for my God and Goddess, as I can assume most of you have this too, if not all. If you don't, then you're probably still seeking and don't realize it. So now we're going to get into where I mentioned before about some people about having perfect love and perfect trust in self, because some people feel like that whole thing happens, that it's about the self. I mean, how do you feel? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course you trust yourself to do the right thing. But I mean, I think about it this way, you know, you can trust yourself to do the right thing, but we always make mistakes. And sometimes, you know, whether that's a problem with like overeating, for instance, some people trust that they can do it and then fail themselves because they have a cookie, you know. So it really depends. I guess it really only can be something attainable by the gods.
Yeah, and I kind of feel the same way, and I'll explain it right now. So to talk about perfect love and perfect trust with the self, this depends on the person. Do you completely and flawlessly trust every decision you make? Do you truly and flawlessly love yourself? There are thousands of people around the world who commit suicide every day because they don't love themselves or hate themselves. Is it possible to perfectly love and trust yourself? Yes, but again, it's not easy to truly achieve. I don't. I love myself. I definitely don't perfectly trust every decision I make though. In closing, so that's my outlook on the subject of perfect love and perfect trust. Going off of my definition, I hope some of you can see the way I see it, even if you don't agree. I totally believe in having a very, very strong love and trust within a circle and with my coven family. Can't expect anyone to love and trust people that have never met. That's just being dishonest with yourself. You can pretend all you want to love and trust a stranger, but that's your prerogative, and in my opinion, is a lie to yourself. But to love and trust those you have been able to grow with and develop a special relationship with, we witches do have a bond like no other, absolutely. But again, it's always with exceptions and not necessarily perfect, without flaw. I mean, do you agree with that? Like, I mean, it's...
Yeah. I agree with that with covens or sororities or fraternities. That you do. Perfect love, perfect trust. Trust us. You don't know us.
Yeah, but you can't like walk into like a coven situation and be like, oh, well, you have to perfect love and perfect trust your fellow coveners. I mean, it just isn't going to happen. It's what the whole video was about. So, but
I would run from that if I saw that.
Right, it's kind of weird.
I would just run because I wouldn't be able to fulfill that.
It almost sounds cultish.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'd be like, all right, well, can you point me in the direction of a coven that doesn't believe in this?
I love and trust you guys and gals, well, the ones I know anyways. The rest of you, I look forward to developing that love and trust. Sorry to say, it will never be perfect. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Witch in the Working. I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please click that subscribe button, ring that little bell, give me a thumbs up. And we will be doing some future videos coming up really soon. I plan on getting right back on track with doing a video every week. So don't think that this is going to be like a thing where like I'm losing track here. It's just, again, with the move and everything, it was a little bit rough. To produce this week, or last Wednesday, should I say. But we're here, we're back, putting out some more content, and I got some stuff coming up that I wanted to put out about covens and coven work, and about starting a coven if you're one of these people that really wants to do that. So join us next time, and we'll see you next show. Love you guys. Blessed be.